Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Eastman and Laird's version, Casey Jones. So basically the Mirage comics version, comic version. It's not from any other version, it's that. And it's fine. It does seem to reuse some parts and some new parts, and it looks pretty good. It's not like the most incredible thing ever because it's just a guy in some tattered clothes, but as usual, NECA delivers on the stylized look. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 6 and let's say 5/8 inches tall. That's going to make him roughly 17 centimeters as far as Darwin is concerned. He's a little bit taller, so he's about 1.1 Darwins, I would say. And so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic after we do a question of the day. Which media format is your favorite design of the Ninja Turtles from? I worded that horribly and ended it in a preposition, but I think you got the question. For me, I'm gonna go with, I don't know what, I'll describe it. You guys who are more into Turtles will know what I'm talking about. I think it's the 2000 version Ninja Turtles. No, that's the CGI one. The one where they have like superhero proportions, kind of. I'll post an image. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's my favorite. So I would go cartoon and that. I'm wondering if there are people who much prefer the classic comics or which version of which cartoon you can pick. So I shouldn't have said format. Just tell me which version of the Turtles is your favorite. That's all. You cannot pick live action. I want to keep it non-live action because they're so different. Okay, that's enough. All right, let's talk about the aesthetic. As usual, NECA did a stylized paint job, which is really good, and it's kind of starting to shoot themselves in the foot because you can release a figure like this that looks really good, and it just doesn't stand out because you've already released things like, I don't know, Chrome Dome or any of the cartoon series bad guys that are all these crazy designs that they execute really wonderfully. It makes this look so bland in comparison, but it's still really well done. It doesn't have the cell shading paint job, it just has the heavy line work. I think that's a good enough look. It's not too overly done, and it doesn't take away from the figure like you might see with a really crappy cell shaded paint job, Hasbro. I think this is fine. It looks, I think this is fine. It looks good. I don't know how you can make it look more like a comic other than to put the heavy black line work on there without the cell shading of the cartoon. It's fine. The only place there's any sort of shading, in air quotes, is the hair. You can see a little bit of lighter brown dry brushing on top of the dark brown, and it's continued around on the back. And that's it. Everything else is just color block basically with black lines, and it looks really, really nice. The eyes are nice and clean. The mouth part is nice and clean. I was worried about that most. I like it. Aesthetically speaking, it looks good. My only real gripe, I guess, would be the physique. The chest and shoulders seem a little bit small, especially the shoulders. But once you pose them, you probably won't notice that. And since it's a relatively stylized comic, I think it's fine. But yeah, this thing looks really good. I do have a blemish over here on the arm. Obviously, that's not going to be a universal issue, but there's some great paint on there. Other than that, it's good. So aesthetically, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. They did a good job. As far as accessories go, you get the 2 fist hands that come on them in the package. Then you get 2 gripping hands for the right hand and a gripping hand for the left, so 5 hands in total. You do get his alternate unmasked head, and you get the mask accessory, which is still really nicely done. The head is nicely done too, though he looks kind of sad. Don't love that look, but I'm never going to use it anyway, so it doesn't matter. You also get his backpack bag, golf bag, whatever that thing is. It's very square, I don't know what that is. But you get his weapon bag, and you also get a hockey stick, a golf stick, and 2 other kind of sticks. Some blunt objects. And they all look really good. They're nicely detailed. The black line work on there is really clean. So yeah, I think that's a good assortment of accessories. Maybe an open hand or 2 would have been nice, something like that. And then maybe a face where he doesn't look incredibly sad. But it's a nice set. So I'll go 8 out of 10 for accessories. I think that's enough. All right, let's talk about the articulation. It's probably pretty limited, but we'll see. We have a ball peg. Feels like a double ball peg, actually, for the head. He can't look up too well because of his hair combed back, but that's okay. He looks down just a little bit. It leans side to side and rotates just fine, so that should be good enough for some menacing posing. That should be all right. Shoulders. This is hard PVC. This is the same piece as the body. These are not soft pieces, so bringing the arm up forward is going to be somewhat limited by that. You don't want to grind the paint. Everything on here is painted, so be careful. But you do get your rotation, and if you bring the arm out, you get all the rotation that you could want. It'll go all the way around, so that's fine. Bringing the arms out to the side. This one worked a little bit better than this one. It's very, very tight, and it does feel like it's binding. I'm guessing what's happening is that they can continue to sculpt all the way up, so it is just limited by the sculpt of the shoulder instead of having the cut go farther out. I still think they should just cut it farther out a little bit. They are action figures. We can see the joints. I don't mind seeing the joint for the benefit of the range, but it is limited for the benefit of the sculpt, so I guess that's up to them. I just don't prefer it that way. Bicep swivel is a little tight, but none of mine were stuck, so that's good. Double jointed elbow, let's see. It's a little bit stuck, but it's not, this is fresh out of the package, by the way, guys. I never heat things ahead of time, unless it's like really warped or something like that, Hasbro. But let's see if I can get these joints to work. Because I figure most people who buy things just want them to come out of the package and be usable. I can't use the front joint on either forearm. So yeah, a little bit of hairdryer action will loosen that up for those of you who are watching that don't know what to do. But for those of you who are watching, that is what you can expect, is you will have stuck front joints. Both of mine were. It seems to be like it's a universal problem. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. The gripping hands do not have a vertical hinge. That's disappointing. The torso articulation is a waist twist. And as far as I can tell, there might be a ball peg under the shirt, but there's nowhere for that to go, so you're not getting any range out of it. You're not doing anything. It's just a waist twist, which is kind of ugly. So you're not going to be able to use that too much either. For the hips, basic classic ball sockets. The pants here, the diaper comes down really far. I'm guessing we have very minimal range. Let's see. Going out to the side, yeah, that's it. That's all you get before you start to stress it, and if you start to stress it, does anything happen? This might actually be molded in blue, so if that's the case, that'll be good. Let me look at it up close. Okay, so I can't say 100% for sure, but it looks to me like this is molded in blue, so you can stretch it without having any real problems. As you can see, I stretched the legs out fairly far. I think that's a good enough measure. But going forward, let's see what we can do. The balls are fairly stiff, so that's okay. Still too much material though, it just binds too much. You're not going to get the legs to do any more forward or back than that, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Thigh swivel is in there, that's fine. Double jointed knee, that's not tight, that's not stuck, that's good. Good range there, good joint. Wrists. The leg wrists have a swivel, and then for the ankle it goes that far back, which is probably enough. It's not a ton though, and very, very limited range going forward. Ankle rocker is fairly steep, so yeah, it's not the most articulated thing in the world. The joints are there, but they're not super functional, mostly for the sacrifice of the aesthetic, but sometimes just because they don't work that well. So his articulation, while it might be excusable to some degree, it's still not good, so I'm going to give it only a 6 out of 10, and that's being pretty generous. You could easily argue lower. It's not going to pose a ton. Will it pose enough? From what I'm understanding, the people who are collecting these types of figures say yes. So I'm going to say yes. If you're buying it expecting it to be incredibly posable, then you will be disappointed, and that's why I make reviews, so that you know exactly what you're getting. But every time I ask it, the people who collect the cartoon or comic turtles, they say, yeah, we don't really care about the posability that much as long as it is still an action figure. We care about the aesthetic and accessories, and NECA delivers on both of those things in spades, unquestionably. So I think it is an okay release. It is just very limited in articulation, and so I'm going to give it an overall rating of 8 out of 10. It looks really good, comes with cool accessories, but yeah, it's not going to be doing any Spider-Man poses anytime soon, not without modification at least. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you really should. I have new videos almost every single day, and I have thousands of videos already on the channel, literally over 4,000 videos, so you can check any of those out at any time. So make sure you come back for all of that, and in the meantime, keep collecting.